Gosirda, a welcome away zaga Noswyth Lowen. What exactly is a Noswyth Lowen? Well, it's a gathering of friends in somebody's house for an evening of song, music, dancing and storytelling around the fire. Didn't you win a gwir, Julie?
Yeah, and you gwir, Rod. A haneth nefyn hwydd on junior gennym ni rag ag a Noswyth Lowen. Ha gennym ni yma gwilyn gwafus, hen yw Brenda Wooton, yma bagus dolcia, Rose Celtic, ti y born everything cyfren y dogries af, Rod. Yma bagus Britonic Cernuic, Anao Atao, hag ag an droller arbednic yw Benjamin Luxon.
Well, it started, so come on, let's get in there.
Guinness.
Oh, busy Lara.
Oh, and I'm Morthis. Thanks. This is Kit and then Davey. Now, Kit, what was that tune called?
Merry Maidens.
Now, is that something to do with the Merry Maidens down Penzance?
That's right. That's the place where it's reputed the young ladies were turned to stone for dancing on a Sunday.
Well, I think it's time now for a song. So here's someone whose name is synonymous with Cornish music, Brenda Wooton.
This is the story, a true story of a very shy man who's standing on a bus stop beside a lovely girl, and he agonizes or fantasizes on how he could get to speak to her. Perhaps it would start to rain and he could take off his coat and put that and his arm around her. And he thinks of her as Elais, which is she angel. La 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 la, la la la. dos arista mes anne. Elise win alle marzos arni the welles skondith paradis la 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 la.
Well, the Ruby Clues and Gan now, Ken's tea.
Oh yeah, Mirig.
Oh, well, tea of Russ had more. Of course, on Noswyth Lowen wasn't just the music, there were the stories. And these would have been told by the droll teller, who would go from house to house, telling us stories and legends for his supper. We have our own special droll teller this evening, Benjamin Luxon, hotfoot from the National Opera. The only difference, our droll teller has been paid his supper in advance, so it better be good. Ben, what story have you got for us?
Oh, I've got a great story for you. I think you'll like it very much. Have you ever heard how Dick Stevens fought the bear?
No.
Well, in his time, people knew the story from Penzance to Plymouth, and my father knew it, and he told me to get Dick to tell me the story one day. So, one evening I met him on Tranarn on the way home from market, and he up and told me, as we say. Well, must have been 51 or 52 years ago. I remember, I was 22 years old then, and I remember as if it was yesterday. There was a fair down to Fair Park and crowds of people, and there was a wrestling saloon with a notice up, who would wrestle the bear. They had a great leathern apron, a blacksmith's apron, for they put on to protect me from the bear's claws, see? Well, I went down with your Uncle Bill, a regular sporting man he was, anything for a bit of sport. And when the man said, he said to me, "Dammy Dick, go in and fight the beggar boy." That was how we used to talk, see? And when the man got up and said, "Who'll fight the bear?" your uncle said, "Here, mister, I got a man who'll wrestle your bear for you." So after that, I had to, like. So I said to him, "Darnay, then I will." Now, you know what a boxing saloon is like? Well, it was like but I forget. Before I fought him, there was a fellow called Bob Sanders. He'd live in town now. He was a mason's apprentice, or a mason. Fine feather, great arms on him. Well, he was going to fight the bear first, see? Well, in we went. And all the people came crowding in. The place was crammed. I never seen nothing like it. They had a few rounds of boxing and wrestling, you know, like they normally do. And then Bob Sanders' turn come. Now, he was the sort of chap that would drink a lot. And he went round to pubs, and anyone that was drunk, he'd up and give him a blow and knock him out. See? Mind you, a fine-built fellow. He had great arms on him. Well, he took his place in one corner and the bear in the other. Great brown bear he was, 400-pound weight. When they said time, he rose up on his hind legs and he come forward. My God, Bob Sanders didn't stop the meeting halfway. He no sooner get in seat and get on his hind legs, and he gave one leap and leapt right out of the ropes and amongst the people. You should have seen the people laugh. Bob Sanders never heard the end of it for months and months. And he used to ask him, "Bob, how did he fight the bear in? Different from knocking out drunk men in pubs, wasn't it?" Well, that put the wind up me a bit, I can tell you. But I didn't say nothing. They had a few more rounds of boxing, and then my turn come. They put the leather apron on me, and then before we begin, the man said, "There's two things I want for you to understand, young man. This here bear is muzzled. If you to touch a muzzle, he'll bite your head off. The second thing is, you take on at your own risk. We won't be responsible for nothing that happen." Well, they said that for to put you off a bit, and I tell you, I was a very bit frightened. But I didn't say nothing. They had a few more round of boxing, and then we began. They called time, and the bear rose up on his hind legs, and he come forward. Mind you, I thought hundreds of things. He come for to meet me, and he put out his great arms, and we met. And he hugged me, and I hugged he. I couldn't shift him. I tried to lift him off his feet, but it was impossible. He was that heavy. I tried to give him a cant and tilt him over. I kicked at his leg, but he wouldn't let go. What was I to do with him? Well, I thought and I thought. I had hold of him in mind. I didn't let go. But he was clever, trained to it. And I noticed that he was nuzzling up in under my chin and trying to push me back up, trying to push me back. And I thought, that's his game, to get me back up. After that, I kept him well down like. Now, I also noticed he was doing all the work with his forearms. And I thought, now, if I can get they and pinch them, he wouldn't be able to do so much. So I got hold of his arms, I pinched him, and I pinched him. I didn't let go. I was sweating like a bull, and I could feel he panting and struggling, and I thought, now, mister, I got he. I could feel his breath coming and going, and when the people saw I hadn't, they were shouting, give him to him, Dick, you'll do an old man, you'll do an hold on, boy, you'll be all right. And then I heaved him up sideways, give him a twist, and throwed him right over on his back. Ha ha! You should have heard the cheering. My God, they said you could hear it all the way uptown. Well, the fellow that run the show, he was a decent sort of chap. He said to me, well, that's the first I've been served that trick, young man. Hundreds of people have tried to throw him, but nobody yet have been able to do it. And then he said, would he tackle again? Now my blood was up, and I felt confident like. So I said, yes, I'll tackle him again, and I'll throw him again. Well, there this bear was, back in his corner, panting, and I was sweating like one thing. Well, when they said time, he come for me. He was angry, see, never been thrown like that before. He come at me and got his forepaw in the back of my head, and he gave me a blow around the back of the head. I tell you, draw blood made me smart, I can tell you. But this time, I knew what to do. I knew how to throw him, and it didn't take me long. I got his arms pinched, I give him a cant, and I twisted him right over, almost out into where the crowd was. Ha ha! My dear life, there was some kick up. Oh, you should have heard the cheering. Well, anyway, I forgot to tell you. While we were swaying to and fro, the bear got his nose out through the muzzle, and he snicked my sleeve off at the hem. And in the interval, he fell down, and I put it in my pocket. Well, when I got home that night, my mother was in the kitchen. I can mind as if it was yesterday. See? Good mother she was to me, and a mother to everybody. And I said, here, mother, here's my sleeve for you to mend. And she said, all right, boy, how did you come to tearing like that? So I said, oh, I've been in town fighting the bear. With that, father came in, and he told the story. And you know, all she said was, you ought to have a box on the side of your ear. And that was all that was said about it. Yes? Must have been 51 or 52 years ago.
Ottomma, Atao, Therney and Mays. Something that is enjoyed in all the Celtic countries, and of course Cornwall is no exception, is traditional dancing. One of the groups involved in the revival has been Rose Celtic, and they've come along this evening to display a couple of dances for you. They start with Phoebe, a jig, and then follow with Rose Veer. So why don't you push back the furniture and join in?
I do love a bit of dancing, don't you, Brenda?
Well, I used to, my cock, but I'm too old now.
Oh, Guslon. Anyway, why don't you sing a song for us?
Well, I'd like to, but I need a man for that, really.
Well, and you for the lays.
Well, how about you, Ben?
All right, my lover. I'm your man.
So what's it going to be
Your
called?
traveling tailor.
It's going to be called Dalio Civi, which means the leaves of strawberries. Now, for centuries, strawberries and strawberry leaves have been associated with love potions and aphrodisiacs. And this song is no different. It's a very old traditional song. And Ben is a very amorous travelling tailor. And I'm a rather keen Cornish maid. Givin mosen ventan the sima away, like the hell you see the hours he
Alla frimos geno vi mos musate, gans agas bedjet gwyn agas blumelen.
Briumar vin we sima away, like the hell you see the hours he